year's Sinquefield Cup is the strongest chess tournament ever. We have the highest average rating in history, with 6 of the top 10 players in the world participating. And that includes world number 1, Magnus Carlsen, also the defending champion from last year's Sinquefield Cup. The very best in chess competing today at the St. Louis Chess Club for the 2014 Sinquefield Cup. And our complete coverage from first move to winning move starts right now.
The world will be watching St. Louis. The best in the U.S. The best in the world. Only one will be king. The Sinquefield Cup. Information at stlouischessclub.org.
Hi folks, John Cordisco here with another video from round 2 of the second annual Sinquefield Cup 2014, the highest rated chess tournament ever in the history of the world. Right here in my home country, the United States, in St. Louis, Missouri. Pretty proud of that. This is a game between Fabiano Caruana, Italian-American, as Yasser Sarawan said in the commentary. We'll take some credit for his great play. We're going to call him an American-Italian. So between that and Maxime Vacher-Lagrave from France, everybody calls him MVL. Fabiano Caruana is white, MVL is black. It's going to be a Carl Khan advanced. E6, bishop, C5. This is going to be a very interesting game. Very interesting game. I don't know much about the Carl Khan, so I'm just kind of winging this. Bishop, queen of B6. Knight C3, Knight C6, castles, queen takes the pawn. Now I'd be scared to death to take that pawn, but these guys they know opening theory till move 20 and 30. Queen E1, protecting the knight. You've got knight to B5 instead, rook to D8, D takes, queen takes, queen E1, bishop takes, rook to c1 is a sequence with a small advantage for white, believe it or not. Only up 2 pawns, and it's only half a pawn advantage, so obviously that's not the way to go. After queen e1, c takes, bishop takes. If knight had taken instead, bishop, knight takes, queen takes, and it's advantage for black. After bishop takes, knight takes. Those of you that are wondering instead, is after knight takes, instead of knight takes, queen takes, rook, queen, knight takes, queen takes, knight to c7 check. Look at that scenario with a 3-point advantage for white. After knight takes, bishop b4. Just for whatever it's worth department, if bishop had taken the pawn, rook to c1, queen to b6, queen to d2, with a huge advantage for white. The bishop can't get out. He's trapped by the knights. Knight, bishop a5, just to get the bishop out of the way. Rook to b1, hitting the queen. Queen takes the pawn. Rook to c1. Now it looks like that queen's going to have trouble getting out. Has to go to b2. g4. Now that was a move he pulled right out of his hat. And the funny part is, that's the third move that's not even out of the top 3. as I'm looking at the computer here off screen. Knight to d6 check is the correct move for white. But he goes g4. If he had gone knight to d6 check, king to f8, knight takes, e takes, knight to e4, with a tiny advantage for white at basically an equal position. After g4, bishop backs up, f4. Now, right now, black has the advantage, but not by much. Pawn and a half. Bishop e4. Rook has to go to f2, basically. And now this is what I think Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, a great player, he's number 9 in the world, miscues badly. He goes knight to h6. And it was almost a pawn advantage for black. Now it's slipped to a half a pawn advantage for white. Now it's a pawn and a half, almost 2 pawns. That's a lot, especially at this level. Queen to b4 was a suggested move by the computer. After knight, bishop d3, queen to b4, the queen's got to get out. Rook to b1, queen to c5. Get the queen out of the way. The computer has suggested queen to e7, and then after knight checks, king to f8, bishop takes, with a pretty good advantage for white. After queen to c5, this is starting to look miserable. Knight takes. Now you notice with that, it's discovery on the queen and hitting the queen. He plays d takes e4. Huge mistake. As odd as this may sound, black is up 2 pawns, and he's almost 3 points behind in score. Queen takes the bishop. If he had played bishop takes the queen instead, after knight takes, bishop takes check, king takes, castles, it's still an advantage for white, but it's 2 pieces for a rook and 2 pawns. He might be able to save the game. But after d takes, queen takes, black castles, bishop e2. Right now, black is doomed. Absolutely doomed. And for a player like LaGrave, who's number 9 in the world, rated 2768, I think, that's amazing to me. e3 pushes the pawn right through. Rook has to move. Rook f to c8. He's trying to get something going here. Queen e1. Queen to d5. And it's getting deeper and deeper and deeper. We're on move 24. And it's over a 4-point advantage for white. This is resignable. Rook to b2. Instead of rook to b2, the computer liked bishop to f3. But after rook to b2, f6. Queen to g3. Pawn takes, rook f8. Rook takes, rook takes. Queen takes the pawn. And it's a piece for a pawn now. I mean, you're up a piece. It's really too bad for LaGrave at this point. Knight to f7, trying to get the knight in play at all costs. And knight to c3. And this is where Maxime Vachier-Lagrave from France resigns. Give you an idea what will happen. After queen takes, knight takes, rook takes b7. And this is just miserable. Miserable for black. Anyway, folks, that's one of the 3 games from round 2 of the 2nd annual Sinquefield Cup 2014. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really psyched it's here in the United States. Any of you that want to watch the games or any of the videos, St. Louis Chess Club and Scholastic Center, where it's being played, has its own YouTube channel. Go to their site and find the videos for the rounds there. And go to uschesschamps.com. It's going to be 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 2 o'clock their time in Central United States. It's a great tournament. 6 out of the top 10 players in the world. I'll tell you, I'm psyched. And I'm psyched especially it's in the United States. Anyway, folks, I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right.